I'm a senior at UNC Chapel Hill, and I'm majoring in middle school education.
Hey y'all, I'm Tyson. I'm at UNC Chapel Hill as well, majoring in psychology and minoring in business.
Hey, I'm Marshall Sandman. Class of 2010 here, senior at Cornell. I'm in the hotel school minoring in real estate.
Hi, I'm Emily Martin, and I'm a junior at NC State, and I'm majoring in graphic design.
I'm Tyler Ferguson, class of 2012, going to the University of St. Andrews, and I'm double majoring in medieval history and Spanish. That's in Scotland.
I'm Grace Pasco. I'm at Vanderbilt University, and I'm a sophomore, and I'm majoring in human and organizational development and minoring in Spanish.
Hi, I'm Molly Ducast. I go to Hampton University in Hampton, Virginia. I'm a freshman, class of 2013, and I'm majoring in music education.
Hey guys, I'm Avery. I'm a freshman at Haverford.
Hello, DJ Washington, sophomore class president. Do you think it's beneficial to take 4 years of a foreign language or just stop after the 3-year requirement?
I guess I'll start things off. I think the biggest change when you go from high school to college is you have to realize that you're completely independent now. At least for me, living in Scotland, I don't have any fallback or anyone to really keep me in line, so I have to make sure to actually go to class, and I can't sleep through class and that sort of thing. Making sure that you do what you have to do when it's due, I think is the most important thing.
I'll speak to that. Similarly, I go to school in Ithaca, New York, so I'm not that close to anybody that I know particularly well. But little big things like laundry. I'd never done laundry before, and I got to college and had to figure that out. And it's like a rude awakening when you realize that you don't have any clean clothes. I know that sounds so silly, but it's a really big deal. It's something you'll spend a lot of time doing over the next 4 years.
I think it's also important to remember when I left high school, at least, I left behind a really close group of friends, and I was used to being around a group of people, whether it was teachers or home or friends or just this relatively small school. I was used to being around a group of people who knew me really well. And when I went to Vanderbilt, I didn't know anyone, and it's important to remember that it takes time to form friendships. Even though you can meet people and know, okay, we're probably going to be lifelong friends, it still takes time to form a community as tight as Ravenscroft in a community that you're as comfortable in.
I guess, I'm still kind of transitioning because it's really only my first semester, just finished my first semester. So kind of what they were saying, just being independent and realizing that you have to depend on yourself for everything, like washing clothes or eating. You can't really just wait for your mom to start cooking some food because you have to go to the cafeteria if it's far away, or you have to find some place to eat. You have to manage your money. You never have money. It's like you just have to be responsible for yourself. And it's actually, there's a lot more things that you have to take care of that you don't realize. So I'm still transitioning even now, but yeah, that's good.
I think in high school, the biggest thing was okay, I'm going home and I have to get my homework done. But in college, you kind of have to think, okay, I have my homework I have to do, I have to go to this recitation, I have to feed myself, I have to do laundry. So I guess responsibility-wise, kind of what they were saying, your time is taken up more by just schoolwork. So that's a big change.
I'm just going to quickly second the money issue. When you run out of money and there's 3 weeks left in the semester and you need food and you need to do laundry, which now costs money, that sucks.
Consecutive semesters of a foreign language. So I would definitely advise you all to continue to do 4 years of a foreign language, because when you get to college, most likely you will have to take a chunk of foreign language, and it's going to be hard if you take a semester off and then go straight into college. It does give you the chance to start a new foreign language if that's what you really want to do, but there's a huge benefit to just continuing something you've started all the way through, because they'll expect the same of you in college.
So as someone that's majoring in a language, I guess my answer is going to seem pretty obvious, but taking a language is really important, I think, just generally speaking. I mean, it's important to like actually be interested in it, so don't just take something that you think is going to look good. Like if you take Chinese and then you don't want to put in the work for Chinese, then there's no point in taking that. But I think having a second language is just a valuable asset when you're looking to get a job. Like someone that can speak another language and has the same credentials as someone else that only knows English, you're going to be chosen for that over the person that only has one language. So.
And well, I took AP French, and after taking the AP exam, I don't have to take any language in college unless I just choose to, but the credits are there. So if you do take the AP, if you take an AP language exam, you might not have to take it in college at all, and you need to be ahead.
And kind of along with that, APs in general make your life a lot easier in college. It's a whole course that you might not have to take. I was able to kind of add halfway to my major by going from a Bachelor of Arts all the way to a Bachelor's of Science just because of taking things like AP Physics and AP Chemistry. So if you can do things like that, especially in language, definitely take it because it's going to make your life a lot easier in college by being able to take courses that you actually want to take. Not that you don't want to take those courses too, but...
Also consider if you want to study abroad in college, because if you want to go study in Spain for a semester and you're taking Spanish all the way through high school, it's going to be that much easier to take courses when you are abroad. So I would also take that into consideration.
This might seem like a lot because it's kind of far away from you guys, so don't get too overwhelmed by, do I need to plan 4 years from now if I want to major in whatever? You probably don't, but if you are slightly interested in a language and you enjoy learning about it a little bit, it's really worthwhile to continue taking it. If you add together all this feedback, you'll probably find at least one reason why you should stick it out for another year, even if you're nervous about it, or if it might be hard or you want to hang out with your friends, it will probably end up being very worthwhile.
Yeah, even just for the near future, if you don't want to think about your major or anything, just on applications, doing 4 years in the language looks really good to colleges. So if you're not really sure what you're interested in, but you still kind of want to like puff up your application a little bit, like that definitely helps. So.
Don't apply to 14 schools.
I'm going to say the hardest part of the application process was doing it, and to make it less stressful, do it earlier. Because the school that I got accepted into and am now attending, I knew that in late February, and that's not when you want to know what college you're going to. So I don't think they're particularly difficult. I could be wrong if they've changed over the past 2 years or something, but they just take up time, so just get them out of the way. I know for juniors or seniors it's a little late, but...
I know Tyson's making fun of me because I applied to 14 schools. But I totally agree. I think that I probably visited too many schools and and went to too many places, and that's why I felt like I couldn't decide at the time. But if you do it, if you start in June, you'll be done by the time the school starts, and you don't have to think about it anymore. And I know that sounds silly, and your parents are going to end up like bugging you about it, and that's what's going to end up driving you to finish. But finish that early. The stuff that's even due in January, you don't want to do it during the semester, and especially as college announcements and things like that roll in. Apply early action, find somewhere that you love, apply early decision, and get it over with. Be done, and start getting excited as you go into second semester.
Being a graphic design major, I had to produce a portfolio for over half the schools I applied to. So if you're going to be applying to something that's going to need like a portfolio or something extra that you're going to have to gather stuff together for, I would really recommend doing that during the summer because you're not going to be doing that along with the actual applications during school. So.
This is kind of a just thing on perspective, but I remember going through the process. It felt very all-consuming, and it's a very important process, but remember that college is 4 years of your life. It is not your entire life, and so definitely keep perspective as you're going throughout this, and just remember that while it's important, it doesn't need to take over every aspect of your life. Just keep some...
What did you think about the college panel last week?
I thought this year's group did a real good job. It was a nice mix of experiences, and they were very thoughtful and articulate in their answers. They did a good job of providing different perspectives instead of having the same thing said over and over again.